also offering
It's time now for Spears on Sports with John Spears, brought to you by M&M Cartage. And now, here's Tony.
Scoot, what's up, man?
What's up, Tony?
Oh my goodness, where's the big guy? I'm in the chair today. He disappeared on me. Friday night, he looks at me, Scoot, and he goes, "You got to do the show Monday, Tony."
Well, communication would go a long way.
You know, but he trusts me, and he knows that you and me are going to kill it. So, if we can find something to talk about, I mean, Mondays are hard to find things.
Can we spend an hour on the Reds?
You know what? We're going to start with the Reds today.
Cook it.
After, if anybody wants to call in and talk about the Reds, they can call in on the M&M Cartage hotline at 502-384-1450. Throw the text in here. After we talk about the Reds, we got all kinds of ways to go. So if you want to text us at 502-414-1450 on the Gameday Men's Health line. Gameday Men's Health is refining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results, testosterone, peptides, weight loss, and sexual performance therapy. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. So, Scoot, I want people to fire the text in here. They can talk about football. They can talk about basketball. They can talk about baseball. They can talk about horse racing. They can talk about anything they want, and me and you will give them our expertise, because we don't have to worry about John talking the whole time.
That's right.
So we got all that going for us. Man, Thunder over Louisville over the weekend. Got a question for you, and I wasn't planning on starting this, but I really want your opinion on this. Does that excite you, Thunder over Louisville? I mean, is it a big deal to you? I think it's more for people out of town that haven't lived in Louisville all their lives, unless you have a great place to go.
So, for me, it's my favorite Derby event.
Is it?
No question. But I understand what you're saying in regards to the fireworks, because if you've seen them once, you've seen them a million times. That doesn't really do anything for me. I am much more geeked out about the air show each and every year. I love the air show just because you get to see a lot of planes that you don't typically get to see. So, Yes and no. I do think it is a little overrated, but the air show makes it awesome.
Well, it's big for the city of Louisville, and,
For sure.
and it's great. I went 3 years ago and actually was in the Galt House and was on the third floor with the balcony. I mean, I had the best seat in the house, and I enjoyed it. But one time was enough. I mean, I like to go have a good time party. The wife, she's more just likes to go. She doesn't like really crowds and stuff. So we watch with my son at night. It's a big thing for him. So I was just curious, how you looked at that. And so the Reds, baby. What about your Cincinnati Red?
They're unbelievable.
What's going on up there?
I don't know. I mean, these guys play for each other. I think they were down in all 3 games this weekend, but they just refused to give up, and they got timely hitting. It feels like the bats are starting to come alive. Everybody's chipping in and doing their part. It's just been a lot of fun. It's been a long time, maybe ever, since I've enjoyed Reds baseball the way I have through 22 games to start a season.
Well, it was cool. We went up there and had great seats and got to see them up front, and a lot of young guys, The pitching's been really good.
Yeah.
11-0 in games that are decided by 3 runs or less.
That's insane.
And they're 6-0 in 1-run games. So right now, the confidence is off the chart. Sal Sturt, I mean, even when he doesn't get a hit, he hits the one off. Looks like it's going to go off the wall. The guy makes a great catch in right field for the Twins. But the Reds, man, they're in first place in the division. They're 14-8. That division, Scooter, everybody's above 500.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good division.
Everybody thinks that was going to be the worst division in baseball, besides for the Central over in the American League a lot of times. But they are just kicking butt. It just the Cardinals are in second place. So
Cardinals who they play this weekend? They got 2 of 3, I believe.
Yeah,
maybe the Padres. I don't remember who they're playing.
I could pull it up.
Maybe the Mets actually.
Yeah.
No, Mets played the Cubs.
Yeah, the Mets have lost 11 straight.
Horrible.
That is not
good.
Right?
There's only 3 teams in baseball with more wins than the Reds. Think about that.
Yeah.
And one of them's the Dodgers, who has a $900 million payroll.
Yeah, the Dodgers and the Padres have, I think, the 2 best records I was looking at.
And the Braves.
And Braves, yeah. And everybody's kind of lingering in the same area, kind of a little below 500, maybe a game or 2 above 500. Major League Baseball right now is the parity is really, really good.
Yeah.
Besides for the big payrolls, of course, that are still the all-star teams that are still doing well. But yeah, I mean, I just keep watching the Reds, and I got home yesterday. I'd been out, had taken some batting practice, if you can believe that. Went on and watched the high school game. Got home, watched the end of the Reds game.
Hold on.
Yeah. What?
You were taking batting practice.
Yeah, I was at the cage with the guys from the softball team.
You all do batting practice.
Oh, yeah.
For slow pitch softball.
Yeah. At Scooter.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
These guys I played with travel, man. They traveled. One team's going to Michigan next weekend. They were just going to Alabama. One of the guys I play with gets paid. He's been getting paid for years. He has a bat named after him. It's serious stuff.
So is there a machine that pitches slow pitch?
No.
Or do you all pitch to each other?
No, go in a cage and have a screen pitch, just like in a batting cage. They rent it out at Southern Oklahoma Sports. Go out there and hit. I was out at noon taking batting practice.
I had no idea batting practice for slow pitch softball is a thing.
Well, if you're serious about it, and I don't travel really anymore. I might 1 or 2 weekends, but these guys I play with, man, it's serious, and they're good. I mean, it's not your weekend beer league. It's serious stuff, and sponsors, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I was doing that, and then I got home. And, of course, caught the end of the Reds game, and I go, they do it. They did. What are they doing again? I had to go back and watch it, and I'm just like, man, I'm just amazed. They play the Tampa Bay Rays today. Lowder's pitching. He's 2-1 with the 3.52 going tonight. Tampa Bay was one of the hottest teams. They're still above 500, so that ought to be a good one down in Tampa.
Bad day to be a Ray.
There you go. Enjoy your L, right?
That's right.
All right, so other thoughts about the Reds? Let's do Reds right now, man. But when you're hot, you're hot. You got to take them. We bet them over 80.5. I like to start. That's a good thing. So, what do you think, pitching or hitting? Do you think? Let me change all that. Terry Francona.
Love Terry.
Everywhere he's been, there's some type of calmness with the young players.
Yeah.
Don't you think that?
For
And
sure.
he just does a phenomenal job. And to get him back in there and hopefully the Reds can keep it going.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought him up because I was thinking this weekend, and I watched a ton of Reds this weekend, but anytime it shows him, that's a good word to use. There is a calmness, not only about him, but in regards to the players being around him as well. Like, Terry Francona could be looked at as an intimidating guy. I think you and I could both agree on that, but these players are not intimidated by him, and they're playing. It's almost like they're playing not only for him but for each other as well. It's just been a joy to watch. The pitching was awesome to start the season. The pitching stayed awesome. You just needed the bats to keep up, and they're getting timely hits that in years past. In years past, Tony, Reds lose 2 of these games this weekend.
Oh, they might lose them all.
They don't win that Saturday game. They don't win the Sunday game, but they kept chipping away, get 1-2 runs at a time, and next thing you know, you've got an opportunity to win the game. And that's just, it's been a joy to watch. I don't know that I've ever seen a Reds team that doesn't give up like this team doesn't give up.
Well, here's the thing. We went up there on Tuesday. Their team batting average was 205.
Yeah, it's
and
awful.
we were sitting there going, gosh, man, these guys can't hit. We had guys, you were like McLean and some of these guys are doing nothing, but they were doing enough to find ways to win. And if the bats start coming around like they're doing better, and late game heroics have just been off the chart. And so let's give the Reds credit where credit's due. While we're staying in baseball, I want to my guy Brandon Fott. They moved him out of the rotation. They brought back Merrill Kelly, so he's the 6th starter. So.
Really?
Yesterday, the Diamondbacks were getting beat on. Ryan Nelson started the game, went a third of an inning, gave up 8 hits, 8 runs, and 8 earned runs. And Fott came in and pitched 6 1/3 innings, and he gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run. He pitched great. I know it was in a lopsided game, ended up 10-4.
He came out of the bullpen and pitched 6 innings.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah, because he's a starter.
Right.
They're using him in middle
But
relief.
that's crazy.
And it's like moving a guy down in the lineup sometimes when he's not hitting. Take a little pressure off of him. Just let them do their thing. And so he got his ERA down to 4.50 just throwing yesterday. So I just wanted to throw that in there while we were doing baseball because I'm a big Brandon Fott guy, and the family, great family. So that. And the next thing I really want to get to, and I don't know if you really got to watch it yesterday after the baseball game, was the golf. The golf yesterday
was awesome. Yeah. I actually got a text about midway. There's probably 3 or 4 holes left, but I got a text that said, "Here comes Superman." And I was like, oh, that must mean Scotty Scheffler. Let me fire this up. So I was able to watch. I think I got the last 2 holes and then the playoff hole. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick was.
Turns out I was a week off on my Matt Fitzpatrick win.
You were. You kept telling us he was going to win the Masters, and Fitzpatrick had that lead the whole time. And if Scheffler stays close, they got to be looking at the board when he starts moving. And Fitzpatrick made some long putts for par to save par, which saved him the tournament because Scheffler was throwing some birdies up there. And here's my question to you about golf, and this is really what I don't get to. You got 2 guys playing down the stretch, and Matt Fitzpatrick is a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's not from the U.S. I know everybody loves Scotty Scheffler. Should the fans be pulling against him? I mean, they were yelling at him, chanting USA and everything.
The USA chants were awesome.
Yeah. I mean, is it good for golf to be that way? I think in a way it is, but man, if you're Fitzpatrick and you're out there and you're like, gosh, I'm going to show these people. I think sometimes you egg the other guy on. I mean, that's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
I mean, I've got no problem with it, especially coming off the Ryder Cup last year. I mean, if a guy's not American, yeah, let's let him hear about it because obviously we want the Americans to win, and that's no slight at Matt Fitzpatrick. I think everybody thinks he's just fine. Like, I don't think anybody has a serious issue with Matt Fitzpatrick. But if this tournament was over where he's from, it would have been the exact same thing against Scotty. So I've got no problem with it. It did kind of feel like it kind of felt like the last tournament before the Ryder Cup, right? Like everybody was just geared up, ready to cheer on the USA. I thought I thought it was fantastic.
It was almost a Ryder Cup atmosphere, don't you think?
It was cool. It was a great tournament.
And, man, I tell you what, when Fitzpatrick on 18 chipped that ball and it went about halfway there.
I knew at that moment, I was like, heck yeah, free golf.
And I think everybody thought Scheffler was going to win. And what a great shot.
I bet on Scheffler.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, man. I saw earlier in the day he was plus 545 or something. I thought, man, that's a great bet.
I got him at I think plus 235 with 3 holes left.
It still was a great bet.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost, but who wouldn't have took that at that point? And the shot that Fitzpatrick hit in the playoff from the fairway was phenomenal.
Yeah, can't do better than that.
Under those conditions, the wind was blowing, the fans, the playoff, you just almost choked the tournament, and then he wins. And I just want to say one thing about Fitzpatrick. They showed a picture of him and his brother with his dad, and they took vacations to Hilton Head. They lived in England. They must have had a lot of money. Man.
Yeah, I would say so.
We went to Dean Lake.
Don't sleep on Dean Lake.
I know it, man. So, yeah, Scotty Scheffler.
Do you like that? Let's say they went to 7 playoff holes. Do you like that all of them would have been on 18?
No.
I hate that, right?
No. You can.
I mean, it's good for the crowd that's there in attendance, but it's for a TV production, it's pretty boring to just keep playing the same hole.
You're doing the same thing every time. I can see it maybe after 2 or 3 holes coming back to the 18th.
Sure.
But like they do in a lot of tournaments. But
I feel like they used to switch it up, and now they just play the same hole over
Well,
and
a
over.
lot of times they'll play 10 and 18, because you can just rotate kind of back. Matters what golf course. Now Hilton Head's a different animal because that goes through that, I don't want to say neighborhood, but area. It's not like some of these courses where you go up and down, So that's probably why they do it, because they would have to go back, I guess, to the 17th, because where the lighthouse is and all that, there's it's probably one of the reasons it's hard to do. All right, one other thing here before we take our first break. We weren't in Friday. I know you probably talked about it. I got the Louisville Kings ball right in front of me. Watched the game. Overtime, the Kings get their first win. And I know John never talks about the Louisville Kings, but I know you watch it. I watch it. The guys do the podcast or whichever. But I think they're doing a really nice job, and it's good football.
It is.
And I think if you're not watching it, you should give it a shot, especially if you like football. I know a lot of people are, this time of year I'm not watching football, but they do a nice job. And did you see what the Kings did after they won? They traded their quarterback today.
I did see that. Yeah,
they traded with the DC defenders. They traded quarterbacks, and they cut Benny Snell.
Did they really?
He got hurt the other day, and they released him. So it was interesting to me that you would take a Kentucky guy who's really, really, really liked, that played at Kentucky, for attendance. People want to see Benny Snell, and they released him. So Kings down there doing the thing. I saw and John will never talk about soccer, but Lou City, I know they pulled out at one yesterday. So we're talking all kinds of sports today. When we come back, we'll talk basketball.
By the way, I've got a predicament with the Kings, Tony.
Okay.
I watched their first 3 games.
I did too.
Did not realize they were playing on Thursday, and they get win number 1.
Oh, you didn't watch?
I didn't watch.
Oh, I didn't realize it till I was going through the Sports Central looking for what games were on, and I saw the Kings were playing. So I did watch it, but that's a curve, man, a Thursday night game.
Well, I can't watch anymore, right? They're 1-0 when I don't watch. They're 0-3 when I do.
Chris Redmond did just text me. And tell Scooter he can't watch it.
I think I'm the problem.
It could be. But did you see they changed the overtime rule after the week before?
I did see that, yeah.
Mike Rapoli was like, we can't have these games ending this way. They were doing half the distance to the goal. Now, if you get that second one and get another one, they keep moving you closer. But the Kings get their first win, football history, and give them credit for trying to make this work in UFL.
It's entertaining.
What?
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining. All right, let's go ahead and take that first break, Scoot. If you're listening to Spears Not on Sports, here on the Big X. We're back here on the Big X.
Yeah.
Spears not on sports. There we go, Scoot. I had to get a yell in there. John is on assignment out of town. So that's why you have the great show today on Monday, and I know everybody's excited to hear Scoot and Tony. Burke on ball, whatever you call it, the Scoot and Tony show, all those great things. Scooter, I heard the Roosters commercial right there. Friday night, we had our softball reunion, 36 years of Burley Boys. Over 35 guys showed up, family and friends, and we patronized Roosters out there at Bardstown Road and Hurstbourne Lane. So
can't go wrong with that.
You can't, man. I tell you what, the atmosphere, those are great places. Food's good. Of course, the alcohol's good. We had a good crowd there. But I just want to throw it in. I heard the commercial. I'm going to hit some tidbits here. We have any texts right now?
Yeah, there's a couple texts.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit those.
Okay. Patrick Murphy texts in and says, "Holy moly, Patrick. Can't read all this. Patrick did not do very well at his pool tournament this past weekend. Man. So we'll just skip through that. Yeah. Then he got to stick around and keep score for a Louisville pair that played after he was knocked out. So he didn't get done.
There's always next tournament.
He didn't get done at home until 5:30 a.m., which is just crazy. And then he also says Vegas came back to win the first game over Utah to take a 1-0 series lead.
Yeah, that was, I think, 4-2.
Yep, 4-2 is correct.
Yep, so the Oilers and the Ducks go at it tonight. I told you we're talking all kinds of different sports. So pull those Oilers through tonight, Patrick, and maybe we can hook those Golden Knights and Oilers up.
Another texter says Louisville used to have a professional slow-pitch softball team, the Kentucky Bourbons back in the 80s.
Yep. The Bourbons, actually the Whitlocks lived behind me for the old guys here. It was good softball. I mean, it was I was a teenager, and we'd go out to old Bishop David Field and watch those games, and a lot of great players, Bill Gaddy and Cobby Harrison and those guys.
But that was fun.
It was, and they had really good crowds. I mean, it was beer drinking. I mean, back in the day, underage drinking was not looked down upon. I'm not saying I had a few beers out there, but
has that changed?
At public events.
Okay.
So, the ABC is a little more strict than they were back in the day. But, yeah, it was great, man. The bourbon, the quality's not that great, but it's pretty cool. It was on ESPN.
Might go ahead to check that out.
Yeah, check
Sounds
it out.
Entertaining.
YouTube. I've watched it before. So,
Buzz also texts in and says, long or middle relief pitchers are becoming a thing of the past. Most relievers are limited to one inning. Good for Fott to not hang his head and come out strong.
Yeah, and, sometimes you just got to build that confidence, man, and there's different ways of doing it, and he'll probably be back in the lineup at one time here, and so good for Brandon. Some other things going on. They had the spring games at UK and U of L. Scoot, do people get excited about the spring game? I know Kentucky has a new coach in Will Stein, and they really pumped it up and wanted people there and got excited about it. Will Stein said when he walked through out on the field, he got emotional. He grew up there. I mean, I know he played for Louisville, and Louisville fans are going, why would you get emotional at Kentucky? But his dad played there. Mm-hmm. He went to season tickets. He was there most of his life. So you get very excited about spring games?
Not typically, but I do think there is something to be said for Kentucky having a brand new coach, and everything's just going to be different after years and years of Mark Stoops. So I think there is some excitement within Kentucky. I don't really get into spring games. Indiana's is coming up on Saturday. I'm not going to watch a single second of it.
But that's going to be a celebration.
That probably so. I don't know. A lot of the players at Indiana, they've came out and said that nobody even thinks about the championship anymore. They're all on this. Yeah, the fans do.
That's more of a celebration for the fans. I didn't mean the players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a, hey, let's go out and celebrate that. Oh, my gosh.
You're right.
I left the window open. It's a little cool outside, and something got in here. I hear something, Scoot. What we got?
Oh, Buzz.
Yep. Hey, Buzz.
Hey, what's up, Tony?
Not much, my guy.
I'm here too, Buzz. Thanks for saying hello to me.
I know, Scoots. I was getting to you. You're too quick for no man.
So what's up, Buzz? I'm glad to hear from you, man. I should have gave you a call and got you in here.
Yeah, I could have made it. I'm fixing to go out of town here later on today for a couple of days. But, yeah, I'd have snuck in with you. But I have one other thing, and I'm going to ask that later. But if I'm not mistaken, the first live sporting event that ESPN ever broadcast was a Bourbons game, since you brought the Bourbons up.
I think you're right. Like I said, it's on there. I think like the host series. if you can watch. I know the one game is on there, but you talking about big dudes that were good back in the day, man. That was high quality softball. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, and you've played a lot of softball, and the Bourbons played a 3-man outfield, which is pretty rare. Especially when you've got good hitters out there, but they had some guys that could cover some ground in the outfield.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. Over about the last 10, 15 years, the competitive softball, they've gone to a 3-man outfield because they try to protect the pitcher with a 5-man, and they find guys that can run. They give up the gaps now, but the top softball teams play 3-man outfield now. It changed. It changed a while back.
Since I had my ACL tear and basically ended my career, I hadn't been out to see much softball, so that's good to know. I wanted to try it a few times, but the other guys in the outfield weren't as fast as. Oh, wait a minute, that's not quite right.
You know, Buzz, I tell you what, when I was a teenager in my 20s, when we go to one, I tell them, man, I don't want to do this. I said I could run. I was in good shape, and I said this wears you out. But it's totally changed, and. But the biggest difference is the pitchers. They pitch to the outfield, and it's just like anything else. It's a little more high tech. They don't really scout, but they do that. But teams that travel, you go to those tournaments, they're all playing 3-man, big teams.
And I used to go out when the LIT was a big tournament in town, and you'd have teams come from all over the country, and those guys were bombers, and it got heated. I saw a couple bench clearing things, and I was glad I was sitting in the stands those days.
I loved going to the old LIT, KIT, and watching those teams like Starpath and teams come in here and play. So for the old people out there, the young people have no idea what we're talking about, but they played all over the city of Louisville, and those were huge tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. And the other quick question I wanted to have, what do you think, now that we've got the Kings, and they seem to be doing, I know they've had a couple close games, they got their first win, crowds have been pretty good for their games, but in the spring when you've got Lou City, you've got the female soccer team, and then you've got the baseball team. I wanted to call them the Redbirds.
At least you call them River. At least you didn't call them River Bats.
Yeah, River Bats and all that. But you know, there's a lot of families only have X amount of dollars to spend, and I'm wondering if we're spreading some of our fans thin.
Yeah, well, I think the other side of it is you're looking at like 12 to 15,000 a big night for the Kings. The Bats, you know, the Bats play so many games that, you know, if you just want to go down one night, I don't know, you know, at least it gives you some entertainment here in the city of Louisville. And with the Kings only playing one night a week, and, you know, Racing Louisville and Lou City, you know, it's not like they play a bunch of nights a week. So, you know, there is entertainment in the city of Louisville, so get out and support those teams. It's always fun when you go out to those games.
I think the UFL puts on a good product, too. I realize it's not the NFL, but they do have some quality players that are there, and you've got some that will go on to NFL careers. I know Justin and I talked about a couple kickers that moved up from the UFL in not too long ago about that. So it's if nothing else, it's AAA football.
Buzz, let me ask you this: do I have to stop watching Kings games? Am I the problem?
No.
Yeah, he missed one game and they won.
You're giving yourself way too much credit if you think that you caused them to win.
I'm going to agree with that one, Buzz.
I didn't see you take a snap on the field.
You know what? That ball he didn't catch in the end zone in overtime the other night, that was huge.
That's because I'm 5'0". Nobody saw me.
That's great. That is great. So everything else going good, Buzz, in your world?
Yeah, just last thing real quick. We just had I think it was the 42nd annual DuPont Manual Hall of Fame luncheon yesterday. We put 9 very worthy folks into the Manual Hall of Fame. I'm part of the committee that takes the nominations that we get year in and year out and puts people in, and it's great to see people who have gone through Manual High School and contributed in other ways out in society as well. We've got a number of very notable people that went through Manual, and this class was much the same, and including one of my classmates who did a lot of stuff in New York City as well as here at home, and it just was really great to see a lot of folks. And I get to rub elbows with people like Philip Bond that played at U of L, and Wes Jackson that played at UK. So when I'm standing next to him, though, I feel like a dwarf. I feel like Justin.
You see how the size of people change over the years when you see linemen and people who are 180, 190 pounds. So St. X does it, Trinity does it, a lot of schools do it, and it's a good way to honor people.
But surely you're in that, right?
Yeah, yes, I am, and it's mainly from doing what Tony and John do and what you've done.
Radio.
The Old Goat Radio is what got me in. I don't know what else I've accomplished much in life, but they did put me in.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing too.
I'm actually in with my father too. So my dad was in the second class ever put in.
Well, cool. Since John's not here, he would be embarrassed if I said this, but John's not in the Hall of Fame. But he won the St. Francis Xavier Award, which is for an outstanding alumni, and a lot of those people are doctors. They'll be big time people, and it's probably been about 10 years ago. John was honored just for all the stuff he's done for St. X, and they don't normally just take normal, average day. I'm not John's average, but that worked at a normal job that's been around. John did the PA at St. X when I played, and I started playing in '79, and then he's done radio, he's done all that, and John and I have been around St. X for that tells you how long. And John that was a big honor for John. So I just wanted to say you brought that up.
You and I have had the discussion before that both of you guys, for what you've done for St. X Athletics, belong in you need to have a wing or something with the Hall of Fame. They need to recognize what you guys have done, because I know this is, I'm not trying to kiss up or anything, but you guys really do an amazing job.
Thanks for kissing, Buzz. All right, man. Hey, you have a good day. Have a great week. We'll get you in here soon. I enjoy being around you, man.
Sounds good, Tony. Thanks, Justin.
Of course. See you, Buzz.
All right. There he goes. I tell you what, one of the best good dudes you'll ever meet right there. Frank. Got lucky over the years to get to know him, and just a good dude. Hey, a couple other tidbits here. Braylon Mullins at UConn coming back. How much you think they're paying him to come back?
2.5, 3, if I had to guess.
I mean, why would you go to the NBA when they're going to pay you a ton of money to work on your craft, get stronger, get to be a better player, and then go to the NBA?
Well, I mean, and you got to look at the freshman class for this year as well. I mean, he's not going to be one of the lottery picks, so might as well just come over or come back, try to get a little bit better, and maybe you're one of those lottery picks next year.
Yeah, Alex Condon at Florida, he's coming back.
That's crazy.
And, I mean, they're paying millions of dollars, and I guess, you know what, why go take a chance when you got it guaranteed? And I saw where Mo Diabate was visiting LSU. We said Brandon Garrison went to Alabama, which most people shake their head and wonder how that's going to work. You never know. Another tidbit, UK and U of L women played an exhibition volleyball game Friday night, which most people don't know about. They can do that now. And, like the basketball does out of season. Louisville beat Kentucky 3-1. Down at Memorial Coliseum, which is big time. We know how big volleyball is, and how it's become big on ESPN and national championships. So they got it on. And talking about football, NFL. Did you see this? The Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals.
Yeah, that's huge
from the Giants. They're getting a 10th. Giants are getting a 10th round pick, so they'll have the 5th and the 10th pick in the draft. So they're trying to rebuild. That's going to help the Bengals. The Bengals have picked up 4 defensive players, and Brian Cook from the Chiefs, defensive back, and they're paying him 3 years, $40 million. This is what's blowing me away. What the Bengals are paying.
Here's my thing: you didn't want to pay Trey Hendrickson, but you go out and you give Dexter Lawrence all that money.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense to me. Might as well stick with the guy that knows the franchise and has been around for as many years as Hendrickson has been.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen, defensive lineman from the Vikings, 2 years, $25 million. I can't say his name, from Seattle, the edge rusher, really good player, 3 years, $60 million. So the Bengals are spending money on defense. But here's my question to the Bengal fans: you better get some offensive linemen,
Yeah.
Because your defense is going to be better just by putting these guys out there. And you're going to hold it down. But you got to protect Joe Burrow, and you got to get people on that offensive line that will protect him.
Yep.
And if they don't, it doesn't matter how many points they give up. Joe Burrow's laying on the ground the whole game. So Bengal fans have to be excited about trying to spend money, fix their defense, but still got to work on that offense. And, man, if you're the Bengals and you've complained all those years about spending money and now you're paying for Joe Burrow and you're paying for Higgins and you're paying for Chase and you're paying for these guys and it doesn't work out, it's going to be like Kentucky basketball. We're paying all this money and now we can't beat anybody.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go ahead and take that second break, Scoot. You're listening to Spears Not on Sports with the Scoot Man and Tony. here on the Big X. Scoot, Tony, no John, no Spears on Sports, or not Spears on Sports.
Buck on ball.
That's exactly what it is. I saw where the ratings really went up when people found out that John wasn't in here today. But I'm sitting in the big chair. Scooter's over there producing.
In the little chair.
In the little chair. I like that.
Little chair for a little dude.
I hear you, Scoot. But do we have any more text, Scoot, so we can hit that? I wanted people to text in, so let's hit them.
There's a couple. Yep, one texter lets me know that the IU football spring game is actually Thursday night. So my bad there.
See, another Thursday, you'd have missed it.
I would have missed it, right? I'm not going to watch it either way. But and then another texter says, my dad was on the staff of the Bourbons, and I can remember the games at BD as a kid. Also, all the games at the old Disney ball fields near Rubbertown.
Yeah, I played down there. Boy, you talking about the smell would come in late. If you were playing on the one field, the sun would go down right behind the pitcher, and you could not see the pitch, man. You just swung in air, and you'd be playing in a tournament, they would try to not play the games then so that teams would have a chance.
Not good.
Any other ones?
That's it?
All right, well, let's go ahead and do birthday, Scoot. Wanted to go ahead and get the birthday so we can hit some NBA action from the playoffs over the weekend. End the show, maybe a little horse racing, because John never talks horse racing either. Celebrity birthdays. Alex Serkis, 62 years old, from the Harry Potter. Gloom, I don't know anything about Harry Potter. He was in Harry Potter, 62 years old.
How do you spell his name?
Serkis. I know you know Harry Potter.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
nothing about Harry Potter.
I'm a big Harry Potter guy.
Tell me about him.
He played. Who the heck is this guy?
I don't know.
I don't know who he played in Harry Potter.
I just threw him in there because it was Harry Potter, and I thought the Harry Potter fans deserved it.
You got me.
All
I'm
right.
beat.
All right, Jessica Lange. She is Lange. I'm the worst at pronouncing it. Jessica Lange. 77 years old, an actress. She was in King Kong and Tootsie's. She was a pretty lady back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, we'll go 4.
All right, Scoob. We got you at 4. Luther Vandross was 54 years old when he died in 2005. Luther was a great singer. Died way too early. A lot of people really enjoyed his music. Clint Howard, who is Ron Howard's little brother. He's 67 years old. You don't remember Gentle Ben, the show, because I barely remember it. He was a actor that just always showed up everywhere. If you saw him, you know exactly who he is in a million movies. Here's one for the scoop meter. Carmen Electra, 54 years old, model and actress.
4.5.
4.5. I thought you'd at least, yeah.
Maybe.
No.
I don't know. That's tough. But if you would have asked 13-year-old me, I would have shouted 5 so quickly you wouldn't even believe it.
4.5's pretty good,
Yeah,
Scoot.
we'll go 4.5.
Joey Lawrence, 50 years old, actor. Give Me a Break show. Different ones. Been around for a while. Killer Mike. You know any Killer Mike songs? Rapper, 51 years old.
No,
All right, I just wanted to throw that in there because I just wanted to see if you knew who Killer Mike was.
I don't.
Miranda Kerr, 43 years old, Victoria's Secret supermodel. I always got to throw the supermodels in there when they're.
We'll go 3.
3?
Yeah.
That's pretty low for a supermodel.
Yeah.
So,
Not the best.
Yeah, it wasn't a great day for birthdays for actresses and actors and celebrities. Sports guys. Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, 85 years old. Of course, was at Florida National Championship, South Carolina, Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that didn't think much about the Kentucky football program. Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, 65 years old, great Yankee. Manager, just around, hitting coach, Don Mattingly, one of the best hitters, in my opinion, in baseball history. John Carney was a kicker. He's 61 years old. He was with the Saints when they won the Super Bowl, kicked for the Chargers for years, was a good kicker for many years. A Louisville native, Allen Houston, turns 55 today, played for the Knicks, played for the Pistons. Louisville fans were very disappointed when he went to Tennessee with his dad, Wade Houston, when Wade Houston took the job there, and I think it was a huge loss for the University of Louisville back in the day. I coached against him in high school when he was at Ballard.
That's what I was going to say, Ballard, right?
Yeah, went to Ballard High School. A great guy, a great businessman, all those things that can be said about Allen Houston. Lamont Murray, 53 years old, played for the Clippers, played in the NBA for a long time. Todd Hollingsworth, and this is a guy that I did not know this, 53 years old, was an outfielder, played for the Marlins when they were won the World Series, but he was the Rookie of the Year in 1996 with the Dodgers. The Dodgers had a row of Rookies of the Year, and Todd Hollingsworth was one of them. I would have never guessed that. And I had to get you to help me with this name, Alexander Zverev. 29 years old tennis player. He hasn't won one of the big majors, but he's been runner-up a couple times. A guy that, one of those long foreign tennis players that's really good, just cannot get over the hump. And the last one is Luke Kuechly, who is the linebacker from Cincinnati, 35 years old, played for the Panthers for years, all-pro. Really good player, and that's going to be the birthday.
Retired?
Yeah, he retired early. He's one of those guys that had concussion things, linebackers, guys that, use their head and I mean, seriously, especially back before they really started, calling penalties, those guys came in there and just destroyed people with the, top of their helmet and their head. So those are your birthdays today.
By the way, a couple of things to correct. So Buzz texted in and he said, Carmen Electra spent some time with Rodman. Does that change her rating? Yes, Buzz, it does.
That matters if you were with Carmen Electra before Rodman or after.
And then Patrick and one other texter let us know that Andy Serkis was in Lord of the Rings, not Harry Potter.
Is that what I did? I wrote it down wrong. That's why I couldn't come up.
And I've never seen Lord of the Rings. So.
I never have either. That's
checks
why
out why I don't know him.
And that checks out why I didn't know either one of them. So, when you do a show, you should know what you're doing. But I was thrown in. They went to the bullpen late and had to scratch John from the race and put me in. So you got to give me a break on that. NBA action, Scooter, over the weekend. The NBA playoffs started. We'll just run down the scoreboard here for you.
Blowouts.
Yeah, Cleveland and Toronto started it off, and John and I do have Cleveland to win it all. We just want to get to the finals. Cleveland 126, Toronto 113. Spider Mitchell from the University of Louisville had 32 points, and Max Strus was really good, man. He came back from injury. He's been out most of the year. He had 24 points. So
what did Harden end up with?
I think 22. I don't have it in
front. I thought Harden was really good as well.
It's amazing to me that James Harden has fit in on this team like he has, because we've always made fun of James Harden. Whenever he goes somewhere, it just disrupts the team. But maybe age and experience has really helped the Cavaliers.
Some of those shots that he hits with a man right in his face or a hand right up there is just
the step back with a guy in his face when he kind of tries to draw contact. He hits those shots, and it's he started the step back walking shot that everybody does now. It used to be walking in the day when you move both feet to go shoot, but now it's good, and it's I call it the James Harden move. So it is. It's kind of like the Euro step. They changed the kind of rules to let that go. Also on Saturday, the Nuggets 116, the Timberwolves 105. Murray had 30. Joker, triple-double. I watched the guy do the betting thing, and he said, bet Joker he was plus something for a triple-double. He said he averages a triple-double. He was like plus 2 something to get a triple-double. And he had 25, 13, and 11 for the Nuggets. He's the best player in basketball. Yeah. I keep wanting to say Shea. I want to say, Wemby, all these guys. But the Joker, you average a triple-double, and in this day and age, it's amazing.
He'll get MVP.
You think so?
I do.
The Knicks, they took down the Hawks 113 to 102. Brunson had 28. Karl Anthony Towns had 25. The last game on the Saturday docket was, let's see if your best players won't play. It was the Lakers 107, the Rockets 98. No Luka, no Kevin Durant. He hurt his knee or got a contusion in practice.
That's fine for the Lakers because they had Luke Kennard, baby.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say, Luke Kennard with 27 points. Man, who saw that coming? He had to keep trying to fix his hair to cover his bald spot like he did at Duke. The big guy, LeBron, 19 and 13, so he showed up. Ayton had 19 and 11, so Lakers go up 1-0. Sunday, Celtics, man, Scoot, they just beat the you-know-what out of the Sixers.
They're scary.
123-91. Now they got Tatum back. Tatum had 25, 11, and 7. Jaylen Brown, 26. Maxey had 21 for the Sixers. I think that'll be a 4-0 series.
Yeah.
I don't even think the Sixers will leak one out.
Nope.
Oklahoma City, 119. Phoenix, 84. Same thing here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 25. The good Jay Will with 22. Booker had 23 for the Suns, who will be eliminated very quickly.
How disrespectful is that to the other Jay Will? The good Jay Will.
Well, the other one's good, but he's not as good. Let's change that. The one that played at Arkansas is not quite as good as they call him Batman, Jay Will. Boy, I'm going to skip the next game and use this last one. Last night, San Antonio 111, Portland 98. Portland came back in the third quarter, but then got blown out. Wemby had 35. He was phenomenally good in that game.
Most ever for a Spurs in their first playoff game.
Yeah, he passed Tim Duncan, who had 32 in a game. He had 35. Did you see Tim Duncan sitting there with the dreadlocks and the long hair?
No, I don't like that, though.
Oh, man, I didn't even realize who he was. He was sitting next to David Robinson, and I looked, and I go, who is that? And then they said, well, the big guys, David Robinson and Tim Duncan. And I go, he's from Jamaica. From the Bahamas. And
Tim Duncan?
He looks like it now. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's where
I
he
don't
came
think I knew that.
So Spurs win big, but here's the one, Scoot, that hurts. Our two teams played each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons and the Magic, who we bet before the season, 1 versus 8. And, man, it worries me the way that the Pistons looked yesterday. They did not. They got 39 from Cade Cunningham, but, man, they have lost 11 straight playoff games.
Ooh.
The Pistons have. They have not won a game over time here, and Orlando beats them 112-101. They led the whole game. Pablo Banchero had 23 points. All 5 starters were in double figures. And if the Magic win that series, Scoot, they can't win the playoffs. They can't win the Eastern. We have to have the Pistons to have any chance there.
I agree.
And the matchup looked kind of bad, actually, for the Pistons because they look like they struggled with they kind of mirror each other, both teams.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. I'll go ahead and do the Max Pack real quick. We'll do, Chad Hennessy from InsureMax, over 25 years taking care of the Louisville area. Chad's number is 502-479-4085. 3 games tonight, Scoot. I'm going to go with each one of them. Cleveland is at home. They're giving 8.5 to Toronto. 7 o'clock tonight. That is on Peacock and on NBC Sports Network. I'm taking Toronto on the points tonight. I'm taking the 8.5. They don't Quickly did not play the other day. I don't think he's going to play tonight, but I'm taking the points.
Hate it.
The other game at New York, the Knicks are giving 5.5 to Atlanta. I think everybody wants you to take Cleveland and New York, so I'm going to take the 5.5 in Atlanta. I'm going with Vegas on these two.
Hate it.
That's why I took them. The third game is Denver at home against the T-Wolves. 6.5. I am going to take the Nuggets in this one. So the max pack for me will be Toronto plus 8.5, Atlanta plus 5.5, and Denver minus 6.5. So
actually, I hate that one too.
Do you? So I feel good about it.
I think you're going 0-3.
NBC, the Knicks game is at 8, and on NBC, the Nuggets game is at 10:30. So you have those on the big network. And Kentucky Derby is less than 2 weeks away.
Woo!
So get that ready. Enjoy all the Derby festivities. Do all that stuff. John will be back tomorrow. Scooter will be here. I'll be here. We're all day to day. We don't know what's going to happen day to day. But you were listening to Spears Not on Sports with Scooter and Tony Day. You have a great day.
See you.